This episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast is brought to you by Jedley's award-winning children's book, The Great Maratini.
A very long time ago, there was a boy named Sam who liked to do his magic tricks, and he was quite the ham. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age, but his greatest feat took place far away from any stage. Every trick Sam tried to do would somehow come out wrong, but Sam just kept on going, and that's what made him strong. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age, but his greatest feat took place far away from any stage. One day as he traveled, he helped a stranger in need, and this was not a trick, oh no, but a magical good deed. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age, but his greatest feat took place far away from any stage. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age, but his greatest feat took place far away from any stage.
To get your autographed copy of the giant bilingual edition of The Great Maratini, please visit greatmaratini.com.
Reading with your kids.
Hey, so great to see you. Come on in, have a seat, relax. Augie just had a shower. He smells so wonderful. Hey, my name is Jedley, and this is the #1 iTunes Kids and Family podcast, the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We have a wonderful show for you today. Augie got his shower today, got all spruced up, because today we're talking to Mark Sanders, the author of Monty and the Puppet Dragon. As you will hear, the star of this book is a big, beautiful dog, and Augie wanted to look his best for the show.
This episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast is brought to you by Jedley's totally interactive Magic Circus. Imagine a show where magic, illusions, comedy, music, and inspiration all come together as one. Imagine a show that has helped over 1 million young people and adults to change the way they approach life. A show that has shown people that being kind and respectful is fun. That show is Jedley's totally interactive Magic Circus, a transformative show that inspires young people to make healthy choices, be kind, and respectful. To find out more, please visit www.jedley.com or call 617-833-7063 today.
Joining us right now from Wigham in the United Kingdom, he is the author of a great series of books. We're here talking about the latest book. It's named Monty and the Puppet Dragon. Please welcome to the show, Mark Sanders. Mark, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, good, Jed.
Great.
Yourself?
Wonderful. I actually just returned from vacation. My wife and I had a wonderful time down in Panama and checking out the Panama Canal and the rainforest, and life is good.
That sounds fabulous.
Yes. And Monty and the Puppet Dragon sounds fabulous too. Now, as I understand that the hero of your stories is this giant Newfoundland dog.
Yeah, Monty is our newfie. And we've had him since he was 7 weeks old. So he's quite a star, is Monty. He's a bit of a celebrity over here. And he does a lot of public appearances and charity work and a lot of social media stuff. And the books really came out of that, about some of his adventures.
That's fabulous. Now, for those of you who don't know, Newfoundlands are a breed of dog that are huge. Absolutely huge. I grew up with St. Bernards in our apartment in Boston, and I don't quite know how that happened. And I think St. Bernards are slightly smaller than Newfoundlands. Newfoundlands are really an immense breed of dog.
Yeah, it can vary. I mean, you can get some some big St. Bernards as well, you know. But Monty's big. He's asleep at the moment. He's just over to my right. He's fast asleep. You might hear him snoring at some point. That's his usual sort of day, you know.
Now, as we were chatting before the show, you were saying that Puppet is a beach in Wales.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea for the story is that the dogs go on holiday. We have 5 dogs in total. I need to say that probably. We've got Monty. We have another Newfoundland Cookie. And then we have 3 Spaniels.
Uh-huh. And you live in a big farm, right?
Well, it used to be bigger, you know. It seems to be getting smaller.
Yeah. Newfoundlands have a tendency to make everything around them seem small, huh?
Yeah. So, the dogs go on holiday. They find a dragon because they're in Wales. So, obviously, there's dragons, as you know.
Yeah. I was right there at the tip of my...
The dragon, unfortunately, though, can't fly because although she has very big ears, she has small wings. So Monty and the guys then go on a little adventure to try and help the dragon out and see if they can help her fly. And the only thing that I can say is that it's a happy ending.
Oh, neat. Well, I love that theme. It's a wonderful theme of finding somebody in need and stepping up and helping out.
Yeah, it's very much about that all of us are different, and that it shouldn't stop us being able to accomplish things in life. So that's the little moral in the story there.
Yeah. As you're saying that, one of the things that struck me is, yes, we're all different. We all have different talents. We all have different abilities. We all have different challenges. But the one thing that we share as human beings is that we're all not perfect, and we all need help with something.
Absolutely. And that's it. It's really looking at that and putting it in a nice way that can relate to children, and it's funny, and it's a little bit sad at times, but it all comes out good in the end.
Yeah. So did you always dream of being a children's author, or did, when this giant, beautiful dog came into your life, did that kind of inspire you to start writing?
It did inspire me. I've always enjoyed writing, but when Monty came into our lives, he was 7 weeks old, and if you look at him now, he's fantastic, really well behaved. We go into schools and read to children, but when he was a puppy, he was terrible. He was such a bad, as they are, no different to any other puppy. And I thought, I'm either going to cry or I'm going to start laughing about this. So I started writing little stories on Facebook, Life According to Monty Dogge, and stories from his perspective. So it gave us a chuckle and it got us through it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's, it's interesting. We talk about reading with our kids and how important that is, and how important it is for us as parents to spend time with our kids and to help them see the world and talk about different issues through story. I think you've just shared with us some real wisdom that we need as parents to remember, that sometimes when our kids are frustrating us and being the bad puppies, we need to remember to kind of step back and take a breath and look at life through their eyes. Mm-hmm. Because they're, we've been in the world for 30, 40, 50, 60, in my case, almost 100 years. But our kids, have been in the world for, maybe just a few hundred days. And so everything is new to them. And I think as you did with Monty, taking a step back and trying to look at life through his perspective, kind of helped you deal with his being a puppy, and that can help us deal with the frustrations we feel as parents sometimes. Absolutely. And it gives you a different perspective on life, definitely, mm-hmm. To actually see things, through their eyes. Mm-hmm. And we've sort of taken that on now we go into schools, mm-hmm. which
as soon as the books came out, I was determined that I wanted to go into schools. And we go in free. We don't charge the schools. I take Monty in and we read the stories to the kids. And it's a great way of engaging children with reading and getting into stories and reading and understanding the star of the book. Gives them a little bit of a boost, you know.
Yep. Yeah. And that must be a lot of fun for you.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
So tell me, what are some of the reactions that the kids have, or some of the questions that the kids ask when you're in schools?
Well, I like to do a Q&A to begin with. So we'll do an assembly with, you know, all the kids there, and we'll throw the floor over to them, and they can ask whatever they want. And lots of questions about Monty and how old is he, how much does he eat. You know, I get the author questions, and, you know, but mainly it's about Monty. They want to know about Monty, and they like to know some of the naughty things. I always talk about him when he was a puppy, and, you know, he wasn't perfect, and he did a few naughty things, and they always love to hear the stories of what did he do when he was a puppy? What, you know, why was he naughty? Tell me some of the little stories. So that was always good. That's good fun.
Great. Well, one of the, you know, I'm looking on your website, and your website is great, and there's a great song. We had to jump off the homepage because there's a great song I didn't want playing in the background. But you have all your books are listed, and one of the books that really caught my eye is, and I hope I say this right, Monty and Slobbernosaurus.
You got it.
Yeah. That just brought back so many memories of those giant Saint Bernards and those giant drools that they would bring into the house. Tell us a little bit about Monty and the Slobbernosaurus.
Okay, well, when Monty was about 2, we got another Newfoundlander who's Cookie. So Monty, when he just thought his life was going okay, and all of a sudden he gets a new sister. Now Cookie's a bit of a different character to Monty. She's quite lively, and she likes nothing more than bouncing on him. And she is very slobbery. So very soon Monty started calling her the Slobbernosaurus in the Facebook posts and things like that. So the story came from that, really. Basically, she escapes for the day and goes on an adventure. Monty follows because he knows there's going to be trouble. And he's basically Cookie slobbering on most of the population, as they do. Yep, and it's a bit of fun, but again, there's a little bit of stuff in there about fake news, because in the end, the newspaper reporter makes a big story about it, and where it's just Cookie out slobbering on a few people, it turns into the Slobbernosaurus, this big story that, you know, that this reporter decides to go with, and it's a little bit of a poke at the media and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. So.
Well, that's something we hear that term fake news, and, you know, sometimes it's used sincerely and sometimes it's not. But I mean, I think it brings up a good conversation for us to have with our kids, just about, because we have the internet now. You know, when I was growing up, there was two or three newspapers and maybe 3 channels on television, and we kind of were confident that the news you were getting could be reliable. Although I knew when I started doing my educational magic shows and was being interviewed by different media outlets around the United States, I was quickly understanding that reporters didn't always come with a blank slate to find out what I was all about. They kind of came with their ideas of what I was about, and they kept on asking those questions until I gave them what they were looking for, and then that's what they ran with, even if it wasn't the main point of what I was doing. So I think it's important. It's an important conversation for us to have about where we get our information and checking it, and not believing the rumors at school, and not spreading rumors at school, and not depending on what we read on Facebook, unless it's a fun story about Monty.
Well, it's sort of based, loosely around Chinese whispers, and the whole story is sort of, Cookie's just going out and having a bit of fun, but it becomes this big thing, and it's, you know, when you read it in the schools to the kids get it, you know, that man was silly because she wasn't a slobbernoceros. It was just Cookie having fun, you know. So
yeah,
it is a good talking point, like you say.
Yeah. Now the other book in the series is I'm Not a Panda Cow. Tell us about that.
Okay, well, that was the first book. That's what started it all off. So that's really about Monty when he was a puppy. Hello, he's come to say hello again. And as a 7-week-old puppy, he moved in with us, and we already had 3 spaniels. So basically, the thought I had behind that was, what if the dogs, because he was different, they teased him a little bit, you know, and they, you know, what are you? You look like a silly panda cow. So he has an idea that when he goes out on his walks, he talks to all the other dogs to ask them, maybe they know what he is. They all continue with the same theme, really, all calling him a panda cow, until at the end he does find out what he is. So again, it's sort of, you know, that thing about, you know, people can be different. And,
sure.
But it's the panda cows. I love the panda cow because it was the first one, and you know, it's close to my heart, that one. So it's still the most popular of the books, I think. You know, sells the most. Don't
yeah.
They?
Well, I understand that the illustrations in the book are great. They're colorful. They're fun. And I definitely want folks to check it out. Now tell everybody your web address so folks can check out and, hear that song I was talking about, learn about the books, learn about the school visits, if they're in the UK.
Yeah, I have to say about the song because it's a friend of mine and I had no idea that he was writing that song. He loves the book. And he's a similar age to me. He plays in a band, and all of a sudden, his name's Nick Overmeyer. And he contacted me and said, I've done this song. And they'd gone into the studio, him and his niece, Megan, who did the lyrics, the singing on it. And they produced this song, and it's just fabulous. But once it's in your head, it's one of those songs. So the website where you can hear the song and see everything it's a nice, easy one. It's www.montydogge.com. And dog is with a double G and an E. So Monty Dogge is double G E, which sort of makes him stand out a little bit on the searches, so it's a little bit easier to find.
Excellent. So montydogge.com. And
that's it.
Like Mark said, it's dog is spelled with a double G and an E on the end. montydogge.com. Hey, is there a new Monty adventure in the works?
There is. We're actually bringing a Christmas book out. So the book's written. Zoe, who's our illustrator, she's working hard on the pictures at the moment, and it will be out in October. So it's going to be out in time for Christmas, and we'll be shipping it out. So it's Monty and Friends Save Christmas.
Monty and Friends Save Christmas. This is wonderful. Well, if you are a dog lover, or if you're a pet lover, or if you just love a great story with some great messages and a great conversation starter for you and your kids to have, check out the Monty series, montydogge.com. Mark Sanders, thanks so much for coming to us, and thank Monty for visiting and saying hi.
You're very welcome, Jed, and thanks for taking the time to speak to me.
Please be sure to join us for the next episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Today we had Mark Sanders from Wigan in the United Kingdom. Our next episode is going to feature Mark C. Evans from Perth in Australia talking to us about his wonderful book, Scarlet Hood. Hey, I want to talk to you just a little bit about being a guest on the Reading with Your Kids podcast. If you are the author of a great children's book, doesn't matter what genre of children's literature it is, can be a picture book, a chapter book, a middle grade book, a YA title, we would love to have you as a guest on the show. We've had such amazing guests from all over the world, and we're really, really excited because the Reading with Your Kids podcast, in addition to being a #1 iTunes kids and family podcast throughout the entire 2018, the entire year of 2018, we've been hitting #1 every day, or not every day, but almost every day in 2018. The Reading with the Kids podcast has hit that #1 spot on the iTunes kids and family chart. We're so very thankful. And because of that, we offer authors a really unique opportunity to tell the world about your great children's book. And when I say tell the world, I mean tell the world about your great children's book. We've been downloaded to countries in every single continent on the earth, including Antarctica. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our show has been heard in Antarctica and also in over 190 different countries. And we would love to help you tell the world about your great book. Being on the show gives you an opportunity to tell hundreds and thousands of people about your book. Being a guest on the show is fun, it's easy, and it is absolutely free. All you need to do is go to our website, readingwithyourkids.com, click on the contact button, let us know about your great book. We'll let you know the next very, very easy steps to be a guest. Hey, we want to thank Mark Sanders for being here today, and of course we want to thank you. Thank you so very, very much for taking the time to join us, and as always, thank you so very much for taking the time to make the world a better place by taking the time to read with your kids. I'll be looking for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.